So I was right about the Israel Adesanya v Joe Pyfer fight. Unfortunately, it went almost exactly how I thought it would go. The first round was really good from Adesanya, though. Fought quite well, showed that, as I said in the preview, that he's going to have the technical advantage against him. But, Izzy made some weird decisions in that fight. And come the second round, even though the first round was good, and I think he won the first round, in my opinion, he threw more shots, he was more efficient, he controlled the fight a bit more, even though it was clear from the first second that Joe Pyfer could seriously bang. And if Izzy was there to get hit and Joe Pyfer landed, Izzy would be in trouble. And that is exactly pretty much how the fight ended. So come the second round, Izzy, I guess, was feeling more confident or technically was feeling a bit more lazy and just stood in front of Joe Pyfer. And Joe Pyfer let some shots go, landed clean, dropped him, got on top of him, in like a rear mount and was just punching him. Izzy had nowhere to go, and ultimately you just taking shots to the side and back of the head. The rest just going to step in there and end the fight. And that's exactly what he did. Really, bit similar to the Imavov performance, particularly where the first round was good. It was a good first round, and then the second round, physically, Izzy's just not there anymore. Now, Imavov's situation was a bit different because Imavov brutally knocked out Izzy. It was a nasty knockout and it was a huge clean shot. Joe Pyfer was a bit different because, even though it was a big clean shot, he dropped him and then got on top of him and there was a bit of ground and pound there. And Izzy, I don't want to say could have fought back a bit more, could have done some stuff differently, but realistically, when you're in that position where a guy's just on top of you punching, it's a hard position to get out of. And when a guy's got you, he's got you. And that was always going to be the end of the fight, really. But looking at the fight, I wanted to talk about, guys are saying, well, Prime Adesanya beats Joe Pyfer. Now, again, I do think he does. I think a Prime Adesanya does beat Adesanya. Prime Adesanya does beat Joe Pyfer. Because a Prime Adesanya was doing things differently. Prime Adesanya was not standing in front of guys like Joe Pyfer. Because if a Prime Adesanya was standing in front of guys like Joe Pyfer, then the same thing would probably happen. Like, to me, it's not necessarily a chin issue. It's more a reactions, defensive IQ issue, maybe. And I hate to say it, but it feels almost like Izzy's getting a bit lazy in there. With this fight in particular. Because Izzy's aware of Joe Pyfer's power. Standing in front of him like that, with like, I would say stand like that with your hands down. Izzy fights with his hands down, but standing in close range with a guy that can punch like Joe Pyfer, I'm like, you're just standing in that pocket to potentially risk getting a big win, like a stoppage, right? But to get a stoppage, you have to put yourself in a position to get stopped. That's exactly what Izzy done. Izzy felt that the momentum was growing, it was going in his favour, so he had Joe Pyfer against the cage, standing in there, close range. All Joe Pyfer has to do in that situation is let a couple shots go and he'll drop Izzy. And that's exactly what he did, and that was the end of the fight. But Izzy was clearly, in his bag a bit too much and thought that maybe he could get Joe Pyfer out of there after having such a good first round. It's not the case. It's not the case. And Joe Pyfer showed him it's not the case. With some big shots and then the ground and pound wasn't particularly brutal. But again, I don't fancy taking those shots from Joe Pyfer when I'm laying face down in the mat in front of, millions of people watching the fight. Fuck that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not signing up for that. Right, huge win for Joe Pyfer though, and I think Dana said that's going to make Joe Pyfer go into the top 5 now. So again, that's a truly career-changing performance for Joe Pyfer. And everyone knows how powerful Joe Pyfer is. I mean, him against the other top guys in the top 5, we'll see how they match up. Excuse me, how they match up stylistically. I'll probably make a video about that, what we can do at middleweight. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What did you guys think of that fight? Did you expect it to go this way, or did you expect Izzy to perhaps get the win there? I did have a feeling that Joe Pyfer was going to win this fight, and of course he did go on to win this fight. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.